Dove Valley right now. Talk about the Clady situation, the Ryan Harris signing with Troy Renck of the Denver Post. Troy, Ryan Harris brought in Ryan Clady out for the season. What's the feeling out there right now? I would imagine they're not panicking, considering Chris Clark played pretty good left tackle a couple of years ago when they set all those offensive records.
Well, it's still devastating news, Les. They expected him to be, Ryan Clady, to be healthy, to be a mainstay on that line. He knows Rick Dennison. He knows Coach Kubiak. He's gotten to know him very quickly. I mean, it was just a lot of familiarity there. To lose, let's not overstate how bad this news is for the Broncos. And you guys are talking like Chris Clark will be the guy. They said today, now this could change, they really like Ty Sambrailo. He's going to get a look at left tackle. So the idea that Chris Clark will switch over is not a certainty. And I say that because this is a different offense. The Chris Clark you're talking about that played so well during the Super Bowl season of a couple years ago, that was in a
Troy, they're willing to put a rookie at left tackle with a 39-year-old Peyton Manning?
Today, the first practice, the guy number one at left tackle was Ty Sambrailo. And that wasn't an accident. They want to see what he can do. Rick Dennison just told them to expect competition to go all the way through camp. I asked them about signing a veteran, and they hinted at this possibility. Ryan Harris is kind of a journeyman guy who provides protection in terms of if a rookie doesn't play well in camp. And also, they know him. He played for Kubiak in Houston. He's also played in Denver. So it gives you kind of a security blanket. But the idea that Harris is going to come in to start, all of this is in flux right now. But Ty Sambrailo got the first reps today at left tackle and looked really good. So are they going to experiment with Chris Clark, and Michael Schofield? Yes, and this competition could go all the way up toward the end of training camp, is the way Rick Dennison.
I think what's odd here is Ryan Clady is the last player left from Mike Shanahan era. I believe that's true. Ryan Harris now would be the only player that actually was here during the Shanahan period. Does that make? I think that makes. We'll check that, but that's my piece of odd trivia in regard to this. Troy, let me ask you, I did a commentary the other day about possible free agents who could make this club, be the new Chris Harris Jr., be the new C.J. Anderson. There's a couple of intriguing offensive linemen they signed that were not drafted. Kid out of Clemson that they signed immediately after draft's over, who was considered the best offensive lineman Clemson had and was an all-ACC performer. I'm spacing on his name, but there's also the kid.
He's out though. He's out. What he did, he failed a physical, so he's out. He won't be in the mix. I can definitely
all right.
tell you that.
So well, that's good information for me. And the other was the kid from Wyoming, who is 6'6", sort of in the Nate Solder kind of at least framework. 6'6", about 330, 325, something like that. 319.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me to see Matt Paradis last year, again, a guy, practice squad guy who's going to get a look at center. I mean, they're going to, if you're an offensive lineman in this camp, you have an honest opportunity to not only make the team but possibly play. I mean, Woody, when we're looking at this, the only guy they know is going to start is Luis Vasquez, and he's going to talk to us later today. But they have uncertainty at left tackle now, which could be Ty Sambrailo, Michael Schofield, and or Chris Clark. They have uncertainty at guard, which could be is in the leaders Shelley Smith, followed by Ben Garland. They have some uncertainty at center, although Gino Grukowski is probably going to be the guy. Right guard is Vasquez, and then you go to right tackle, and now is that going to stay Chris Clark? And that's what Kubiak said, is that this juncture, he would rather see younger guys get and Sambrailo get an opportunity at left tackle initially, knowing that Clark has played left tackle in the pros and he wants to see what he can do. But again, if you're an offensive lineman in this camp, opportunity is everywhere at multiple positions. I mean, they don't have starters confirmed at 4 spots, although I do think Grukowski's
2 years ago, Ryan Clady signed a huge deal here. It was a 5-year extension. It was about $11.5 million a year. He's missed now 2 of the first 3 years of that contract. And I'm wondering, what does that mean for Ryan Clady's future as a Denver Bronco?
Well, it's become uncertain at this point, Les. There's no way around that he's now at his age, and he's the longest tenured Bronco. And at his age, given the fact that he's coming off, for him, probably an inadequate season. He was named to the Pro Bowl, but I think Clady would be the first to tell you he didn't play up to his normal level last year as he dealt with the Liz Frank injury. And so what does this mean going forward? It puts him in a tough spot. I mean, let's be honest here. And how does he recover? They're not prepared to rule him out yet. Gary Kubiak was careful not to rule him out for the season, but it would be a surprise if he played, given that he's going to have to wait 8 to 10 days to have surgery, and the typical recovery for that is 9 months. I mean, some guys have done it in 6, but the idea he plays this season at this point, it would be a challenge for him. But his future here would obviously become called into question, particularly if one of the young guys plays well at his spot. That's just unfortunately the casualty of doing business in a salary cap league.
I said to Les earlier in the show, after we heard the news, I said, with Peyton Manning spending more time under center and his left tackle out of the lineup, I am concerned for the health and well-being of Peyton Manning being under center. I think he's much more effective
in the shotgun,
either shotgun or I think
or the pistol,
the pistol offense, or what I would call the pony. So, your feelings about how this affects Peyton at 39?
Well, it doesn't help to lose a guy that one of the greatest abilities of a player is reliability. And in Clady, you knew what you were getting. No matter whether he was the guy he was 2 years ago, you still had a really good idea that he was going to be good and on some weeks great. So to your point, Woody, I would agree that now putting Peyton under center, that's an easier path for an edge rusher to get to him. Will this cause them to maybe rethink that a little? They were already going to kind of find the happy medium of the pistol formation. They don't want to run completely out of the shotgun because they feel like it compromises the running game. The back can't get ahead of steam, and in a one-cut system, the ability for the back to get a little momentum is critical. So will it cause them to go maybe less under center, maybe more pistol? That's something it bears watching as camp approaches. But I agree with your premise completely. No matter how much you like Ty Sambrailo's potential, and I like him better at left tackle than right, given that he's got more experience there, no matter how much you like his potential or Michael Schofield or Chris Clark, they're not Ryan Clady. And you knew what you were going to get in Ryan Clady.
I hope they go to the pistol offense. I just think it's appropriate and perfect for what they're doing. And I actually went back and watched Kubiak's teams that last year, and I know they had to make quarterback adjustments because of injuries down there, and that their quarterback went to hell. But they were running a lot of pistol in Houston in Kubiak's last couple of years.
I do believe that's a happy medium. That Peyton Manning gets him a little bit of freedom away from the line of scrimmage to audible and do some of the stuff he likes, and it also gives the back a fair chance to get a little bit of momentum. They're not going to abandon him going under center, but again, your point is valid, Woody, that when you're under center and you're trying to drop back in play action, the edge rusher's got a better opportunity to get to Peyton there than he does in the shotgun, where the ball traditionally with Peyton Manning comes out, in 2.3 to 2.7 seconds. He's had the fewest sacks in the NFL over the last 2 years. And while you can say the line's part of it, and they are, the reality is he gets rid of the ball so quickly they never get to him. And the key with Manning is keeping him from getting hit, not so much sacked. He rarely gets sacked. But if he's under center, perhaps that changes. And so even in that argument, the key with Peyton Manning at 39 is you can't be letting him get hit. It's not really sacks with Peyton because he gets rid of the ball. But at 39, you don't want him getting hit 5-6 times a game and expect him to be durable for the entire season and effective. I think that's a little unrealistic if he's taking shots every weekend.
It's bad news. We've had the bad news about Ryan Clady today. That shows you how awful OTAs are. I don't know why they're having OTAs, because guys are getting hurt everywhere. But has there been some good news in terms of, wow, this guy's jumped out at you, because you're getting to see a lot of the practices. Who has you gone, wow, boy, this guy's really come a ways, or that's somebody I didn't expect?
Well, Cody Latimer looks the part, and he's ready to make that step to be a starting receiver. So I would be surprised, Woody, if he doesn't step forward this year. C.J. Anderson, I know there was the joke about Adam Gase calling him chubby, and he said it, and he certainly has mutual respect for C.J. They got along fine. But he said he was a little chubby last year, and that's why sometimes he had to come out. C.J. Anderson looks cut. He's in better shape, and he's certainly approaching it like he is the starter. He's accepted that, and he's got to hold off Monte Ball. But clearly C.J. Anderson looks the part and is acting the part of a starter, not a guy who's keeping the seat warm for anybody anymore. Those guys jump out to me initially, and just the combination, Woody, of Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware in Wade Phillips' defense, for me, just seeing him line up, it's just so intriguing. Because DeMarcus Ware in 4 seasons with Wade Phillips in Dallas averaged right at 16 sacks a year. You know, and can Von Miller get to 20 this year? 22? I wouldn't put any number on it. Anything's possible with Von Miller in this.
Appreciate your time. Thanks for giving us the update on the Ryan Clady injury, and we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Sounds good,
All
Les.
right.
What do you
Troy
think?
Renck, and that segment sponsored by the Blake Street Tavern. They've got 3 bars under one roof. They've got 18,000 square feet you can roam around in. They've got 60 HD TVs. Go there. Watch your favorite team play. They're located just a couple of blocks north of Coors Field, and they have been named Denver's best sports bar 3 years in a row by Westward. It's the Blake Street Tavern.